Okay, the word today is ineffable. For people who've been watching Good Omens, and they know what that word means. But for people who don't, it's an adjective. It means too great or extreme to be expressed or described in words, which may not be the best word to use at a Toastmasters meeting, but still, I'd like to see if people can use it. So synonyms for it are things like inexpressible, indescribable, beyond words, beyond description, beggaring description. So, for example, an example would be the ineffable natural beauty of the Everglades. Okay, and there is no fine for not using the word, but I will keep a list of who does use the word today.
Alright. There is a fine for members if you are not using. There is a 25 cents.
Is there? Oh, sorry about that.
No fine for guests.
No fine for guests.
Okay, and without further ado, I think we have full speaker slots today. We have 3 speakers, and just for reference, to the general evaluator, the first evaluator will be Wyman. Second evaluator, I'll take it on.
Georgie is coming.
Oh, Georgie's gonna take it. Okay, first evaluator will be Georgie. Second evaluator, I'll take that on, and then third evaluator will be Dan. So
Do we have printed agenda?
no, I wasn't able to
Okay,
print any,
that's
but I have the agenda up here with my notes on the side. So
Oh, okay.
we'll go through that.
That's good.
So first speaker will be Haroon, second speaker will be Mohammed, and then third will be Prakash. So I'd like to take a moment to welcome up our first speaker, Haroon. He's a returning member. I think he took a sabbatical from Toastmasters, but he's back with a vengeance. So we'll hear his first speech, and then I didn't actually get the title of your speech. Icebreaker. Oh, icebreaker speech. Please, everybody, welcome Haroon up for his icebreaker speech.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
This is my second Toastmaster. I joined Toastmasters 5 years ago, February 2014. I just recently joined a company, and the company used to be upstairs. And my boss had told me about Toastmasters and Startup Speakers in particular, and what a great influence it was in helping him overcome his fear of public speaking. So I went back to my old notes and tried to figure out, should I reuse my old speech? And as I was reading that speech, and I just felt that speech just wasn't me anymore. I had changed as a person. And then my initial idea was, my second idea was to present a kind of like a progress report. What's changed in the last 5 years? Some of you may know me, some of you do not know me, but that still didn't make any sense. Not everyone's going to have the same context as the people who already know me. So I was just, one day I was just flipping through the internet, browsing the internet while my code was compiling, and I came across an article about 9 ways to cut through small talk. I'm not a big small talker, so I was intrigued by this article. And one of the 3 topics, one of the 9 topics that they talked about was about 3 questions. What are you excited about? What am I looking forward to? And what's the best thing that's happened to me this year? And I thought these were really 3 really cool topics to tell you about today. So, to kick things off, what am I excited about these days? Well, I'm working on a small personal project of mine for the last year or so about knowledge and note-taking. This is something that I've been personally passionate about. It's not something that everybody is useful, but I'm trying to combine a couple of ideas from mind mapping, a note-taking technique called Zettelkasten. If somebody's a German speaker, then actually they can correct me. And concept mapping, and putting them together in a comprehensive way to sort of map out all my notes and whatever things that I'm reading about and putting together and collate them so that I can refer to them again. Now, this is kind of a visual tool where I can simply add tools. Whatever I'm thinking about, I can dump them onto a computer as quickly as possible. And then later on, the computer can automatically or help me link those concepts and ideas together. The appealing thing to me about what's exciting me about is that I'm learning a lot of new technology, especially related to web and React and user interface development, things that I had been previously kind of pushing them away because I had a lot of interest in them. But now that I'm actually getting into them, I'm really beginning to enjoy them. So what am I looking forward to this year? A couple of things. I recently finished off two sets of books. One is called The Expanse. By the way, I'm a big science fiction fan, and I've been reading a lot of science fiction lately. So I finished off two series of books today. I'm in the middle of the second one right now. So the first one that I finished today, this year was The Expanse. Now, The Expanse, if you're a follower of science fiction, is a series of 8 books, and it's about a history set in the near future of Earth, where humanity has actually colonized the inner and outer solar system. And what they illustrate is about how the political structures and the culture has developed in the next few hundred years. And it's kind of a speculative history. It does also answer a lot of questions, interesting questions on how the political structures are going to develop. It also answers fundamental questions about the Fermi paradox, about why the aliens haven't contacted us. Another really awesome book that I just finished reading was The Three-Body Problem by a Chinese author. I think his name is, if I'm saying it right, is Cixin Liu. And that was a really interesting problem where it combines the ideas from concepts from math and how aliens would actually communicate with us. The things that I'm looking forward to is that a lot of studios have actually acquired movie rights to both these books. And I'm really looking forward to actually getting and finishing watching the new movies of how people are imagining these worlds to look like on television. Another thing that I'm looking forward to is that Star Wars, Disney has finally created the Star Wars theme park. I'm looking forward this year to finally going there again. What's the best thing that has happened to me this year? It didn't happen this year. It happened late last year, but my wife and I finally bought a home in East San Jose. And while it was the end of a long and arduous process that was at times frustrating and aggravating with endless paperwork and rejected offers, but the fact that we finally found our home and we've actually managed to finally settle in and make a house our home has been a very rewarding and tremendous experience for me. So our house, we are currently living in East San Jose, just north of the Evergreen neighborhood. So we finally set it together and have our family and friends visiting us quite often. So that's been a very exciting time for us. I'd like to close off with a small little story that Jerry Seinfeld once said that the number one fear people have is public speaking. The number two fear is fear of death, which doesn't really make a lot of sense, because that if you were going to a funeral, a lot of people would actually prefer to be in the casket than be standing right here. I actually, in the last 5 years, I think I passed a tipping point where I realized that the prospect of going to a funeral might be a little closer than I think. And I thought that I'd better start getting ready again. So, and that is why I'm here today. Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmaster.
Icebreaker treatment. All right, thank you, Haroon. Excellent icebreaker. I'm sure we got a lot of insight into what's going on in your life and what you're looking forward to, which is great. And congratulations on the house purchase. That's a very big deal. I'm many years away from that. All right, everybody, take about 1 minute to write down some notes and some feedback on the papers you have in front of you, and we'll get started with the next speech shortly. Okay, with that, we're going to move into our next speech. Our next speaker is Mohammed. He's been giving speeches fairly regularly for the past 3 to 4, 5 months now. And he's here today to give a speech titled The Benefits of Relocating.